them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud down, yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary. Lórí Facebook. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary, diary. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Very sorry about that.
Mayegun ti dé.
Is it back now?
Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube.
I've figured it out. I figured out what would have happened, okay? I want you to check. Is it back?
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé.
Again, thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Okay? Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. Now, if you have already read the caption of the broadcast, you have also read the description of the broadcast, you have shared it, and you have liked it, or even subscribed onto my channel, thank you. If you haven't done any of these, take a moment, please.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast. asikoto ne kanu kuma jete ototoni.
Emefiele, show of shame, Daura secret service or Dokpemu stupid service. Read the caption. Let's start. So, once again, good evening to you, good morning to you, and good afternoon to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Mayegun, and it is live if you are watching it live. Now, I know some of you have seen the viral video of the drama that took place in Nigeria, where the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, was brought to court by DSS. And then the fight between the prison service, which is the Nigeria Correctional Service, the prison commander, and the DSS, two government sort of agencies, they fought in front of the court over who is going to keep Emefiele in custody. Today mark the sixth week that Emefiele has been in detention of the DSS. Now, I want to give you the backstory. I'm very good at that. Sometimes in December 2022, where Emefiele was still very much the spanner that Bokwari and his cabal were using against themselves, Tifnumbu and gang. So in December, the DSS suddenly declared the Central Bank governor of Nigeria wanted. Around that time, Emefiele was outside Nigeria. It was kind of a shocker. DSS reports to the president. Abi, Emefiele reports to the president. What could be going on? But around that time, a lot didn't know that Escobar has managed to hijack as many agencies as he can hijack. And DSS was one of them. Emefiele was seen as a clog in Tifnumbu's road to presidency. So, agency of the same government, one of them declared the other wanted, the head of the other wanted. That was kind of like part of the ridiculousness that followed Tifnumbu's government. Bokwari's government, rather. So what happened? Emefiele was like, instead of me going back to Nigeria, disgraced, handcuffed, openly, I would rather stay where I am. Emefiele just started flying all over the world for straight 3 weeks. Around that time, there were reports that they were pushing to kind of slow the DSS down and let him be. Somehow, when Emefiele returned to Nigeria, it was those who were guiding Bokwari that welcomed Emefiele to Nigeria, which means Bokwari had to provide a personal security, special security for Emefiele under those during those periods. And Emefiele too was doubling down. If you want to fight me, come outside, let's fight. Well, his job was not done, because when it was done, this is why you are seeing all this drama you are seeing now. So in January, Emefiele returned. And in February, the drama of change of Naira, extension, no extension, and the order, and then finally, when they succumbed. Around that time, the Daura Secret Service under Bokuwari, they were pretty much like just watching and watching. When the permutation of the total takeover of the country was completed on the 25th of February, those who kind of participated, who participated in the attempt to stop Tifnumbu from doing what he's actually doing right now, they were ready to go after them. But somehow they have to start from somewhere. Emefiele became the first casualty. And what happened? Emefiele was kind of given the feeling that, you know what, you have been forgiven, okay? And then those we know that you represented, you know, it's all right. Remember, under this same Bokuwari, Nigeria became the poorest country on earth, with the poorest people on earth. Under that same Bokuwari, the economy of Nigeria tumbled, recessed, and never came back. Now, after the valuation and destruction of Nigeria, which is pretty much like economic terrorism, what that means is that Bokuwari and everyone associated with all of the fraud and corruption that they perpetuated, that plunged Nigeria into where Nigeria is right now, should have all been arrested, charged for treason. When they start shaking them, all they stole from you and those who benefited, they will start dropping them. But the intention was not that. The intention was not to prosecute Emefiele for his crime. The intention was to punish him for being a willing tool in the hand of those who tried to stop Tifnumbu from becoming the president of Nigeria. Kind of. Because if they were doing this for your sake, by now they would have arrested hundreds, if not thousands, of people, including current governors, past governors, current senators, past senators, ministers, their families, their friends, Bokuwari himself, all of his ministers, Bokuwari's wife, Aisha, and their children. They will all be right now, in-law, everybody, thousands of them, like China, they will round them up like that for picking up Emefiele alone, including Dangote. But his job was not done. And like I said, the intention is not actually to punish him for the real crime they committed against you. Under them, millions of you lost your jobs because of their economic policies. Under them, millions of you lost your businesses because of their economic policies. Under them, millions of you today are living in extreme poverty caused by inflation, as well as excessive borrowing that they are not actually committing into anything constructive or productive. Are you following? If they want to punish him, those are the things they will pick him for, or in fact charge him for. But they want to punish him for being a willing tool in the hand. So which means this whole show is not to your benefit. And that's why when they picked him, they had to keep him incommunicado. Sure you get? So that he won't have a chance of possibly, right, saying something that is going to spill the beans. They kept him away for 6 weeks. And finally, despite all this crime perpetuated by Buhari and his family and his government, financed or funded by Emefiele Central Bank, they are charging him for possessing Shakabula, Dane gun, with 25 cartridges. They called it live ammunition, 25 cartridges, and Shakabula. You know those Dane guns with wood around them like that, Those ones that when you shoot it, bah! You have to wait for it to cool down, before you put the bullet inside again. And then you have to, to load it, you have to wait for it to cool down, like maybe 2 hours. Then you load it and you shoot again, bah! That's what they are charging the former central bank governor that lost over $300 billion in Nigeria economy in 8 years. Economic crime that saw people committed suicide. They lost everything under these rogues. And according to them, he has a case to answer, except that they came out to say Nashaka Bula gone. They are charging him for. So when they were asked, why would you charge him after locking him up for 6 weeks? Why would you charge him for, somebody said bayonet. People understand the shakabula. That's why I described it. That's one of the reasons why, when they say somebody is a thief, they say, no, he's corrupt. No, he's a thief. No, it's not that. He's a corrupt. What do you, he's a thief. If you say, Papa, your papa na thief, your mama na thief. No be your mama be that commissioner. We stole so and so. Your mama na thief. Your papa na thief. But you say, your mom is also corrupt. It's like you are giving them the fancy names and others. Where they say bayonets for those who kind of search for it. Shakabula. They are charging him for a crime that is bailable. But they don't want him bailed. According to them, they are still investigating Emefiele. Here you get. But they just need one charge so that the court can allow them to keep him. God bless you, Jare. I wrote tap school, Abiklele. I wrote and speak cool. Dane gone. Don't let them give you any description that make you look like na AK-47 or AK-49 or RPG or something that is so, you know what I mean? Na Shakabula with all those red cartridges. You know those red cartridges with Boris inside them. When you shoot them, they have like 100 balls. Like that. That's the kind of gun. And the weapons they said they found on him. For somebody who ruined, use Nigeria Central Bank to destroy businesses, destroy jobs, destroy lives. And they continue to look for who to blame, excuses. Somebody who, let me say this to you. Since 1960, okay, fast forward. Since 1960, since they talk about, since they started having Nigeria Central Bank printing money in Nigeria, they have something called ways and means. So the ways and means is that, number one, the Central Bank of Nigeria, okay, is the, what do you call it? The apex bank of Nigeria, the one that regulates other banks, is the bank of other banks. Do you get that now? It's the one that set the rules to make sure that things are done legally and people's money is safe. Do you understand? The purpose of central bank is to protect the interest of the people, right? In a way that the capitalists will not take advantage of the people. They set interest rate, they set, all that. Here you get. That's central bank. Now, in central bank as well, also serve as the government bank. Because if government make any trade, locally, internationally, and the rest, this central bank serve as the government's bank, which means it owes a lot of assets on behalf of the government. And when you say government, it means on behalf of the people of Nigeria. So whoever is in that space must be so prudent in a way that if they have the interest of the people at heart and they are also accountants who understand what ordinary 0.11% in monetary term means in a larger figure. And if that continues, right, what that will mean for the people to bear, kind of share you get. But in Nigeria, once you become governor, okay, the resources of the state becomes your family's inheritance. If you become president, Central Bank of Nigeria become your family's piggy bank. And in this case, those who, it depends on how greedy and selfish
whoever is in charge of government, whoever they are, it depends on how greedy they are that will determine how much pressure their greed will mount on the central bank of the country. In the case of Boko Haram family and kleptomaniac family, jobless family, they've never worked in their lives. Do you understand what I mean? Nigeria has been feeding Boko Haram since the day he turned teenager. And to his old age till today, Nigeria still fed him and fed everyone associated with him for years, all his life. Are you with me? So when they came to government, okay, whenever government, for example, whenever the revenue of government comes in, and they realize that, wait, the amounts that we need and the amount that we have, there is some deficits. The Central Bank of Nigeria, amaya government, you know what that means? So in that space of, okay, how much remain? Now 2 million remain. Oh, okay, 2 million. Okay, so if we give you the 2 million, when you go pay back, you say, I check our this thing now, check how much we they make now. So we can pay that back in maybe in 2 months from our money. You can work it out for us. So Central Bank will print or arrange that money and say, yeah, take this 2 million, cover your deficits, so that we'll be taking the money out. Since 1960, Chengbo, since 1960 to 2015, Central Bank in Nigeria has printed 900 billion naira total. Do you understand that? Since 1960 independence, the Central Bank of Nigeria has played that role of when government needs more money, borrow them, take it back, or maybe they no pay back. So from their record, from 1960 to 2015, the total money called ways and means, money printed purposely to borrow government, for over 50 years, Baba, is less than 1 trillion naira. Emefiele, under the family of Boko Haram APC, Egbekegbe, between 2015 and 2023, Emefiele has printed 22.7 trillion naira and gave them to Boko Haram. Do you understand what I mean? In 8 years, this Emefiele, a supposed accountant or economist, who knows the consequences of that? He did it anyway. And they were covering it. They were covering it. Nigerians, the naira continue to devalue and devalue. Businesses continue to suffer and suffer. And a lot of you were hoping and waiting. Maybe something is going to happen. Maybe something is going to happen, until they were done and you realized that they had nothing to give to you. 22.73 trillion naira in 8 years. Ask them, where is the money? Ask them, what did they do with it? At least they can print money, Abi. That is one serious economic sabotage that requires, if to say the intention is to sort of prosecute Emefiele for his real crime, they would need to arrest Boko Haram, arrest Maman Daura, arrest everybody associated with them, including Ashishe Boko Haram, Aisha. But instead of that, now because of Den gone, Shakabula. So when they now went to court, they took him to court for possessing Shakabula without permission, where Asari Dokubo is parading thousands of men and guns. If you go to Asari Armory right now, you will not see less than 1,000 guns. That is just even being moderate. Other weapons and the rest. And they will brandish them anywhere, any day, any time. But because of, according to them, because of Dane gone, they took Emefiele to court. There was no drama. When they got to court, he didn't fight or anything. He went straight inside. Something like this.
Don't go down now. Please, let go.
Get no wahala. Emefiele was led, I think that was his wife. Okay, not sure, maybe DSS too. Those were DSS bringing the former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria to the bank. To the court. And inside the courtroom, when they presented their case, DSS, and they argued their case, the court now said they should move for, his lawyers moved for bail. And the court ruled in their favor and said the bail is set at 20 million naira. 20 million naira. And I bet that was where the DSS felt like, okay, no. You cannot give him bail. You know, DSS is a lawless agency in Nigeria that do the wishes of the corrupt criminals. Okay? Unfortunately. So the argument started inside. Well, argument didn't start per se. You know, when they say your bail is set by law, you will have to return, you will be returned to proper prison, not DSS detention anymore, because court has now ruled and set a bail. They don't pay bail to DSS. You pay bail to court and you take it to the prison. So at that time, it was the turn of the commander of prison to take charge and take custody of Emefiele. But Nigeria is a lawless country, ruled by criminals who are completely in their own world, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. Or we don't know what happened. They don't start. Everybody shall run. See me, they go check. They can't drag one old man outside the court. Maybe the judge even ran away from the court. I don't understand. Like this.
I said you be careful. I said you have the right. I'm talking about your right.
I won't kill again. The one you kill, don't deny.
What is the problem?
I don't understand.
So they will not.
Somebody Papa dragged out like a a tout, or like a common tout. You see that man they dragged out. That's the commander of prison, oh. Commander of prison. And they were fighting who was going to take custody because in that same court, DSS, they had another arrest warrant of Emefiele. So the news was who was going to take custody of Emefiele following the court rule. That should be the prison service. So the correctional service would then actually release him when he fulfills all the bails. So if DSS want to arrest him on another charges or another thing, then they will have to kind of follow that process. But no, so DSS was already with another arrest warrant of Emefiele inside that same court. Then the prison service was like, no, we need to follow the court rule. We need to shake that first video not clear enough. Watch this one.
Illegal, as you can see, that's the commander of this is what the DSS has done Nigeria to. See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See what DSS has done Nigeria to. See them. As you can see, what DSS has done the country into. DSS, shame on you. Shame on DSS. Shame on DSS. Shame on DSS. As you can see, there's a heated argument between men of the Nigerian Correctional Service who the court has asked to take possession of the suspended CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. But the DSS are adamant and have take law into their hands. They are insisting not to take into consideration and not to take into order the court's judgments. They've been present since the arraignment process of the suspended CBN government.
I told you that one better, Abi. Somebody said they dragged him out like a Christmas goat. Another said that they dragged him out like a wedding cow. Kilo D. Somebody, Papa, is doing his job. But you are dealing with lawless DSS that is doing the bidding of another powerful people or some powerful people. So when they went back inside and they finally told him, respect yourself, we'll go beat you again. So I think the man just felt like, boys, don't worry. Let them take him. I don't want fight today, kind of. So Emefiele had to follow them back in the same truck. They brought him to court in, like this one.
They are giving you presidential treatment. That's the one. See all your security. I follow the president.
Again, that went well. It wasn't him that they kind of beat up or drag and, like that. But did you hear where somebody was saying they are giving him presidential treatment? Nigerians. So they are Emefiele's supporters, possibly, Abi. Kind of, right? It was like, oh yeah, follow the president. See them, they are treating you like president. It was like, is that former president, former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. That's exactly what they wanted to do to him. Rubbish him, do all of that. Afterward, discard him. But everything that happened, all your money, everything, and those who are involved, you will never know about that. Somebody actually saw that as a presidential treatment. That's sick. Hear that again.
They are giving you presidential treatment.
Stop this thing you are doing. What is your problem now?
I said, they are treating you like a president. Oh yeah, follow the president. See all your security. You'll see all your security and all that. I don't know, like, you know. But, just like I said, whether you are kind of calling it karma, this or that, when you look it around, it is just a theatrical show. None of this is to your benefit. Just this past May, 22nd of May, 2023, Emefiele put the cap on the fraud that Bokwari perpetuated against Nigeria, the economic terrorism, sabotage that they unleashed on you, Nigerians. He sealed it up on the 22nd of May, 2023, when they all went to go and celebrate the quota system billionaire, Dangote. And they did tell you, this is why I want to share this with you. Back then, as the finality of the fraud, they told Nigerians that their day of joy is so close, that very soon they will appreciate Bokwari and the kind of investment he has made on their behalf. Dangote refinery was going to crash the price of petrol in Nigeria, was going to crash dollars in Nigeria, and was going to make Naira the strongest currency in Africa, and was going to generate 12,000 megawatts of electricity. It was going to create over 400,000 jobs, and it was going to add 23 billion US dollars to Nigeria economy every year. All of these, fabu, fabu. They did not tell Nigerians how much of Nigeria money they gave to the quota system billionaire, Dangote, to build a refinery that Nigeria can never build because Nigeria is just too small and too poor to build a refinery. But Dangote, the quota system billionaire, could build one. They won't tell you how much, but there is already a rough figure. Dangote won't build refinery to build the economy of Nigeria destroyed by central bank, by Bokwari and Emefiele and their team. So they gave him $12 billion. They facilitated the money and gave it to him. Okay? Now, the same Emefiele, who knows the condition that the economic condition of Nigeria was given a red carpet in May 2023, just about 7 days before the end of the disastrous Bokwari APC, Egbekegbe's 8 years. This criminal, Emefiele, was given a red carpet. It wasn't just him. Even Bokwari, I'm coming.
This cameraman, You are supposed to get a sign like this. Don't worry. It's open, sir. It's open. Ah, okay. Exactly. One of them. Come in, sir. Come in, sir.
So that was in May. Somebody was asking, what are the sins of Emefiele? You know, some questions can actually, some questions can get you kind of, slapped sometimes, and they'll tell you sorry later. Sorry, it was just the way you ask it. So you are expecting somebody to explain the sins of Emefiele to you. Do you know the only thing that is just not right is what I have explained to you? Everything Emefiele did was done by Bokuwari. So if they are actually really punishing him because of his crimes, they will pick up the person that gave him the approval and those who benefit from it, including Bokuwari's family. That's the only thing that is not right. Why are you asking dumb questions? What are the sins of Emefiele? Who are you? You know that kind of thing that you just ask. So you want me to now sit you down like a 5-year-old and start explaining the sins of Emefiele to you? And others will be like, what is he Emefiele alone that is stealing? Is he the only person that will first steal? So what is big deal about that? We know your type. There's no point in arguing with you. If you are new on Mayegun's Diary Political, it's okay. But we know your type. We know that Nigerians, they love their thieves differently. And the competition of my own thief is better than your thief. It's not new. So don't come here and start asking dumb and stupid questions that will make it look like, what I'm trying to say is that, what about this, what about that? Don't ask us that, okay? We know you love your thieves differently. Some of you love them because they come from your tribe. Some of you love them because they come from your religion. Some of you love them because you have benefited directly from them. A lot of you have different reasons why you love your thieves. Oh, it's okay. Don't come and ask us here to be explaining the sins of Emefiele to you. Like, like a tata, dodoyo, that probably have a, comprehension problem, right? Don't do that, okay? This guy, after mortgaging and then, mortgaging the future generation in Nigeria, 7 days to the end of that inglorious era, this guy boldly told Nigerians that Dangote refinery was going to start working in July. And the whole thing, that ship that people are facing right now, everything will begin to go down. We didn't know that the reason, because some people are asking, what did they actually go and commission? When they went to go and commission, when Bokuwari went there to go and cut tape for Dangote refinery. So the same Dangote refineries now, refinery now, that will produce no single oil, all right, until, according to them, until the end of 2025. So what exactly did Bokuwari go there to commission? Do you know? Emefiele now came out and said that from the money they borrowed Dangote, he has paid back 70% of the money, even without producing a single liter of kerosene. How? Economic sabotage. When the naira is what it is today, for those asking, what are the sins of Emefiele? This is one of them, in case if you don't know.
And we insisted that under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, that the ongoing projects and efforts will be actively implemented to diversify the economy and make the country globally competitive, they still doubted us. Aside from enumerating our strategic efforts in agriculture and other critical sectors, a selling project that we highlighted to our foreign investor community was this project, the refinery. Your Excellencies, they doubted us. They doubted our willpower to succeed with this project. In hindsight, Your Excellency, I could appreciate their skepticism because they do not understand how a single individual, a man, like Dangote, could build a refinery capable of serving an entire nation and continent. To them, our foreign friends, projects of this magnitude are usually only undertaken by sovereigns, not individuals. But like Nelson Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it is done. Today, Your Excellencies, it is with extreme delight that I say that President Mandela's quote has come true for us in Nigeria. The impossible has today become possible. I am glad that we never doubted ourselves as Nigerians and our capabilities. Under your leadership, President, this seemingly unattainable project has birthed and correspondingly, under the incoming administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Nigeria will cease the importing petroleum products, fertilizer, and petrochemical that drained over $26 billion in foreign exchange in 2022. The self-sufficiency in refined petroleum, urea, and polypropylene, which Nigeria has attained with this project, is a strong testament to our leadership, dedication, and focus and commitment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the takeoff of this refinery comes with numerous economic benefits to Nigeria. In the first instance, it will generate thousands of direct jobs of over 135,000 permanent jobs. I'm also proud to state that electricity of about 12,000 megawatts of electricity will also be generated. More importantly, this project avails Nigeria with significant savings, both in terms of foreign exchange and in easing the fiscal burden of our federal government. Available data at Central Bank of Nigeria as of 2014 shows that at least 30% of the foreign exchange required to meet Nigeria's import needs went into the importation of refined petroleum products. It is instructive to note, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that according to the balance of payment statistics, the cost, including the freight, of petroleum products imports into Nigeria doubled over a 5-year period from about $8.4 billion in 2017 to $16.2 billion, including an annual average of $11 billion, before rising further to $23.3 billion at the end of 2022. At this rate, the average annual cost of petroleum products import to Nigeria could reach $30 billion by 2027 if we continue to rely on petroleum imports. These figures, Your Excellencies, suggest that the refinery could engender foreign exchange savings to our country of between $25 and $13 billion annually. Aside from the nearly $30 billion foreign exchange savings from the reduction in petroleum products, the economy is projected to benefit an extra $10 billion of foreign exchange inflow annually through the export of refined products. This project will equally provide support to our federal government in its fiscal operation, as it could help to ease budget constraints of funding petroleum subsidy and engender fiscal savings. Your Excellencies, Dangote Refinery is a blessing to Nigeria and Africa as a whole, given the favorable spillovers from this project are expected to spread from Nigeria to other parts of the world. It is in this regard, Your Excellencies, and consistent with federal government drive to diversify the economy, that the Central Bank of Nigeria, through its various development finance intervention, has continued to support critical sectors of our economy to promote a homegrown rebalancing of our economy and foremost self-sufficiency. For instance, in the last 7 years, the CBN has injected over 8 trillion naira to support in different sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, health, education, just to mention a few.
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt.
I bring you a message of hope.
spend a lot of resources on education.
Lórí irọ́. All of that in mail. For those of you who listen to those buzzwords and all those nonsense he said, now the good news is that they lied to you. He lied to you. Okay? He lied. Dangote refinery will not be ready again until the end of 2025. And what they actually went to do at Dangote refinery, that they called opening of Dangote refinery, that a lot of you, Lagos Abobakus, Nigerians, Buharidins, Buhari Didiris, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shuku, Ngozi Hari, Nneka Hari, what do you call the humbled slaves, the sophisticated moral, and the rest of you, what you saw them celebrate at Dangote refinery was not opening of refinery. It was signing off the loan license to import fuel into Nigeria and sell at any any price he wants. And that is Dangote. That's what they went to sign. It got busted, of course, it got busted. They didn't open a new refinery for you. And Emefiele, if they are to kind of really charge him, guys, Bokwari will be in handcuffs right now. Aisha Bokwari and Bokwari, in order not to waste handcuffs, then go handcuff Buhari here. Then go handcuff Chinamama Daura on the left. So no, so they go come join the handcuff where they this right hand. They go join her with Aisha on. So the one where they this left, they go join her with Mama Daura. That one where they Mama Daura and they go join her with Malamu. The one where they Malamu hand, they go join her with Isa Pandemic. So you see when they come back to Aisha here, you see that right hand of Aisha, Nashadia left hand, they go handcuff with. Of course, if they are actually prosecuting Emefiele for his crime, but they are not. They are just showing you theater. They are just showing you this. And in another few months or 1 or 2 years, you will probably forget about it. You won't even know that they once arrested Emefiele for terrorism. Because of Emefiele, they have been staging different dramas in Delta states, IPOB this, IPOB that, in Delta states, so as to say Emefiele has been funding IPOB. They already sold that narrative into the media, only for them to come back and charge him for owning a Dane gun. Now, when they dragged the prison official, for those who were there, okay, especially his lawyer, he had this to say. First, his lawyer.
Today, Emefiele has had his day in court. He was arraigned today, this morning, and he has been granted bail graciously by his lordship. They arraigned him on a 2-count charge, very ridiculous charge, bordering on illegal possession of firearms. Gentlemen of the press, if you know the firearm that we are talking about, it is the kind of gun that the likes of Christopher Columbus and Mungo Park used during their days. This is the kind of gun that the SSS exhibited in their proof of evidence. This is how low that organization has turned itself to be. Ladies and gentlemen, but the good news is that Godwin Emefiele has been granted bail by the court on very liberal terms. Very liberal terms, and as we speak today, he's about to perfect the bail conditions. But we are hearing from the grapevine, and this is the reason why we have come to address you, members of the press, because we know what you stand for. The DSS, in fact, let me also add that the court gave an order again to say that Emefiele should be remanded pending when he perfects his bail, should be remanded in the prison, correctional center. But this one would have expected that having had that order of court, the DSS would vacate this place with immediate effect. But as you can see behind me, they are there, they are hooded. I do not know why they will be hooded to intimidate Nigerians. We refuse to be intimidated. Gentlemen of the press, this is why you are here. Ours is to talk. Our voices can no longer be the low cry in the wilderness. There comes a time in life when silence is no longer gold.
So terrible, right? I've got that my audio delay issue there, and I just keep doing like that in front of you. Like, Mayegun, you are not talking. The audio, I know. It does that. And I think once we start getting to over an hour, and I am actually suspecting the streaming software acting up around that time, all right? So we'll see to that. Okay, sorry about that. Now, that was his lawyer, right? Talking about this is unacceptable. That is if you are in a very kind of real place. Nigeria is not real. Are you with me? Nigeria is not real. And you cannot try to sort of be logic with something that is not real. Okay? The characters in charge of Nigeria, they don't seem to be real people. Because I mean, I don't know. To me, you can't apply anything that really will work on them because they are not real. Okay, maybe I should stop saying they are not real. It's so unreal. Most of these things, right? Now, this guy was talking about it too. This one.
It is unfortunate that this is happening in Nigeria, a democratic nation, a nation that is blessed with people with integrity. I remember very well when I was in secondary school, the Nadeko period. I knew how the current president fought the military through Nadeko. He fought to Daniel. He fought the military, telling the military to obey the rules and regulations of the law, the constitutional law. Here we are today. 3 courts have said release him on bail. He's not running away, for God's sake. He has served this nation for 9 years. Where is he going to go to? All his life is in Nigeria here. And you can imagine a situation where 2 military, federal government military apparatus are fighting themselves, manhandling the commander of the prison commission. It is a disgrace to this nation. It is a complete disgrace.
You know, it's a very, very complete disgrace, sir. You are right. These people are disgrace. I've been in Nigeria has become a disgrace, a disappointment. Anyway, thank God that there was no life lost. Because after the whole beating, punching, kicking, the commander told his boys, let us go, let us go. All of you follow me. I bet the commander would just be, when he got into his car, would just be like, one, no, maybe like if he's sitting there with another deputy commander, we just be like, man, I'll make sure they regret it. For example, if that person is from Ijebu, if Nami them beat like that, after getting into that vehicle, I'll just be like, one, no, maybe Henry. In my life, I will show them that I'm from Ijebu. Kind of, that kind of thing. You'll be talking to yourself like, Kinimushi, what did I do? Did you see how that guy slapped me? Did you see how they dragged me? Did you see how they, on top waiting I do? It will be that person in the car that will just be like, it's okay, or guy, it's okay. Or guy, it's okay. One koniti, one watch you. Or guy, it's okay. The kind of thing like, I'm just giving you a scenario here. Odin, the commander of prison, then beat them like this. See them with hood, covering their face and all that. Corona no deal that they wear mask. Nose mask. So imagine that guy that walked into his car. It will just be like, what did I do? What did I do? Well, being deputy commander. Did you not hear the judge? Did the judge not say that he should follow us? Oga, he said it, Oga. He said it. The judge said that the prison should take him. So what did I do wrong? Oh, you know me. Look at me. I'm not the one that is say, Oga, God go punish them for us. Let's go. Kind of. Oga controller, Abi commander. If you are watching my Egun's Diary Political, I'm not mocking you. I'm just trying to paint a scenario for my audience, for them to see how degenerated the system you are operating in has become, and now everybody be victim. There's something people don't understand about the rot in Nigeria. Now everybody be victim. Sure you get. Whether you are a policeman with the way they carry gun, you are also victim. Whether you are a judge that is sentencing people to prison or anything, you are also a victim. You will be victim inside that same place. Unfortunately. But according to Kolu, you haven't seen Shege yet. Now, baby step, what they call the baby step, is what you are still witnessing. The economy destroyed by Bokuwari, and the one that is about to be buried by Tifnumbu. They removed Emefiele, and they nominated somebody. They called him acting central bank governor. Hello, that has been over a month now. Do you even know I don't even know his name anymore, but I remember his face. So if Emefiele is already in detention and they have already nominated another person, what are the policies that one has pushed in the last 1 month, and how far have they affected your lives? Don't pretend that you don't know the answer. You may not know his name. I can tell you some of the policies of the central bank that they have also announced, and it is already working. Tightening the rope in your neck like that. And that's why they will say, you have seen Shege into you, or you go see Shege into you. Part of the policy is that they said they want to have a unified exchange rate. Therefore, market force will determine how much you'll be exchanging Forex. Since they made the announcement, it can't be like, say, dollar, euro, pounds. They do relay. Who go reach 1,500 first? For now, a pound sterling will be changed for 1,100 naira. Remember, before they came in, before they removed the Emefiele, and then they announced this, they are unified, they don't want a black market. So that you're not going to go to black market and, there's no black market. There's only one thing. They play, Shongbo. Exchange rate was about 910 naira for a pound sterling. Maybe 700 naira or 600 and how much? 18 naira to $1. In 1 month, you dey hear me?
Pound sterling don't turn to 1,100 naira to 1 pound. I mean, 1 pound. If I give you 1,000, if I give you 1,000 pound sterling right now, that's 1.1 million naira. So I'll be a millionaire. That's what they have done to you. Ruin that. But the end result, now everything else you have to, your everyday living, all that, they all fall back on it. I don't know if I should still go back and start explaining how this affects you. But you should already know that by now. Here you get. So euro don't cross, what is euro again? Hey, euro don't cross 1,002. Not 1,200 though. I'm like, it's now hovering between 980, 1,005 naira, 1,010 naira. Here you get. Euro niel. While dollar is also trying to get to 900 and say, they follow you. I know they, you know. All of this policy of unification and all the nonsense they used in telling you all the lies, and you believed them. Here you get. So that's part of the policy. And I don't know if, you know, when Kolu was asked, he said, these are baby steps. Mommy, these are baby steps you will need to manage. Okay? They do baby step. All these things now baby step. Oh. You know, they said that when Kolu said he will hit the ground running. For now, let me tell you something. In February, Sanwo-Iku, in one of the headlines, then said, Tinubu has the magic wand to fix Nigeria. Go and search for that on Google. You'll see the headline. And you'll see the whole article. Tinubu has the magic wand. Yesterday, Oshiomhole, who is now Senator Oshiomhole, said Tinubu is not a magician. So, hitting the ground running from day one, he said, what will you do in your first 100 days in office? Tinubu said, day one, the first day, hit the ground running. Second day, continue running. Third day, still running. I'm going to continue to run. Now, today, nobody is seeing Kolu. You know he can't run. So it was like, hey, I was now play at the play. Mommy, now baby walk. Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba.
Gbogbo Nigeria, ọmọ Nigeria káàárọ̀ o. Ṣé dáadáa la jí o. A kú ọjọ́ òní o. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ o. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìjọba yìí o? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ o? Ara ni wá, ebi ń pa wá o. Owó epo kò ṣe ká lè jáde mọ́, gbogbo wa ti fẹ́ di handicap sínú ilé o. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ ń jọ Monday Friday náà ń wọlé, kò sépo, kò sọ́nà, kò sí nǹkan kan, kò sí ná. Wọ́n dẹ̀ níjọba yìí máa tù wá lára. Ẹjọ́ ara tí ni wá ṣáfẹ́ máa jà àwọn ọmọ wa ni àbá fẹ́ máa jára wa ni. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Epo rice as at now rice ti 39,000 naira. Spag ò ṣe é fọwọ́ kàn. Gàrí ò ṣe é ra. Ẹjọ́ o, ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣàánú wa o. Ẹ ṣàánú wa ìjọba Nàìjíríà, ẹ ṣàánú wa, ebi ń pa wá, ìyà tí ń jẹ wá, ara ni wá, ara ni wá. Ara ni wá tó bá lè ju ẹ pín wa kó lóra kú máa bá tiẹ̀.
Nigeria will see positive changes as we move along.
Gbogbo Nàìjíríà, ọmọ Nàìjíríà káàárọ̀ o. Ṣé dáadáa la jí o. A kú ọjọ́ òní o. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ o. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ìjọba yìí o? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ o? Ara ni wá, ebi ń pa wá o. Owó epo kò ṣe ká lè jáde mọ́, gbogbo wa ti fẹ́ di handicap sínú ilé o. Àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tó ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ ń jọ Monday Friday náà ń wọlé, kò sépo, kò sọ́nà, kò sí nǹkan kan, kò sí ná. Wọ́n dẹ̀ níjọba yìí máa tù wá lára. Ẹjọ́ ara tí ni wá ṣáfẹ́ máa jà àwọn ọmọ wa ni àbá fẹ́ máa jára wa ni. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Epo rice as at now rice ti 39,000 naira. Spag ò ṣe é fọwọ́ kàn. Gàrí ò ṣe é ra. Ẹjọ́ o, ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣàánú wa o. Ẹ ṣàánú wa ìjọba Nàìjíríà, ẹ ṣàánú wa, ebi ń pa wá, ìyà tí ń jẹ wá, ara ni wá, ara ni wá. Ara ni wá tó bá lè ju ẹ pín wa kó lóra kú máa bá tiẹ̀ lọ, ẹ pín wa.
Nigeria will see positive changes as we move along. Just go